Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol, and this is a general reading for Scorpio, March 2024. So Scorpio, what I want to do first is I want to look at your energy, where you're sitting right now, what you're consciously aware of. So that means, what sort of pattern you're sitting in, if it's a relationship pattern, what you're struggling with, if it's a decision you need to make. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what's impacting that situation you're sitting in. And so that means I want to look at what's in your shadow. So we're going to do a little bit of shadow work. Now, if shadow work is something that is new to you, I'll link a video below on shadow work that I've done. But what that's going to do is really going to dig into your unconscious and see what you need to work on in order to heal or help you with the current situation you're sitting with. And finally, I'm going to give you some advice from the tarot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with a video that will definitely help you out with what you're working through right now. So let's begin with the Light Seer's Tarot. And I'm going to ask for a card, for just one card for your current energy that you're sitting in right now. Okay, first we'll start off with that. A card for your current energy that Scorpio is sitting in right now. Here comes the card. It is the Ten of Cups. Nice card to begin with, a Ten of Cups. And what's sitting in your unconscious? What's coming up in your shadow that you need to look at? And you got the Devil. Oh, you have two cards. So I'm going to put those back in, which I always do. The Devil may come out again, but I just want one card at the top. So, yeah, there's two there again. So maybe it's not the Devil. We'll see. One card, please, for what's sitting in your unconscious. Here we go. And we got the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse. And finally, let's take a look at advice from the tarot. One card. Woo. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. That could have been in reverse. We'll just put them here like that. Okay, so let's get some clarification on that with the Rider-Waite. I'm going to ask for two cards for each. Oops. Let's do another shuffle here. Okay, so two clarifiers for the Ten of Cups, please. Gave me three. So you have the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Wands in reverse, or the Ten of Wands is in reverse as well. And the Knight of Swords. So all these three cards are in reverse. Usually when cards are in reverse, they tell me there's a resistance to whatever it is that the card says upright. The Empress, please. Two cards for the Empress. I have the Three of Wands. One more card, please. And the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Swords, clarification, please, for that one. The King of Pentacles. And I have another one that came up, another one that flipped out, so I'm going to take that one, the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, sorry, that's the Seven. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so those are the two cards. And just feel like I need to pull one more for that one. Only because it was kind of sitting there and I didn't notice it. I'm just going to pull one more for clarification. the Chariot. And I will take the High Priestess also. Okay, so that's 4 for you in the end. So, woo, okay. All right, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card for you in the end. Yeah, so we'll look at these first of all. Okay, so I did a yearly reading for you, Scorpio, in the end. Sorry, and I'll link it in the description box if you haven't seen it. But it was a yearly reading for 2024, and I pulled 12 cards out for you. And in March, I pulled out the Page of Swords for you. The Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords speaks to me. So that's going to be your overriding energy right now that we're going to be looking at. And the Page of Swords speaks to me. All my pages are my inner children, your inner children. It's the inner part of us, that child in us. And this is the sword. So it's the child in us that, it's a 4, 5, 6-year-old who we were at that time. We were very authentic. We knew who we were. We knew our truth. And that was probably the age where until, things started to happen or people started to tell us who we were. And so this particular card is kind of, for the month of March, it's saying it's a time where we're going to get in touch with that inner child of ours and find out who we really are. Find out who our authentic self is. And so for the 10, to start off with your current energy, you have the 10 of Cups, which is a beautiful card to start off with. You have all of these cups. You have it looks like it's the happy family card, and it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't mean family so much. It means to me that, that feeling when you have that good feeling of family, if you had a family or have a family, where you have that really good feeling of what it would be like to have a good family or been, born in a good family, or that feeling of family. And this talks about the family of emotions, all that full range of emotions. What would it feel like to be able to just be able to feel all of them without getting stuck on one or stuck on the other, or not being able to feel so many. So that is the 10 of Cups. And so you're sitting in that's your current energy right now, is where you're, feeling your emotions. They're flowing in, they're feeling out of you. You are also, there's these 10 of Wands here that's sitting here for you, and it's in reverse. And the Wands is all about, taking your life in a new direction. And, we talked about the Page of Swords as your overriding energy, where you're trying to find out who you really are. And so I see you sitting here in a lot of emotions, trying to really figure out, I think that you want to take your life in a direction. You're ready to take your wands and just go. But there's a big resistance here to doing it, because I can see that here where you've got these 3 cards are all in reverse for you in the situation you're sitting in. So it means there's a lot of resistance to doing what you want to do. And even the Queen of Wands has come out. You have 2 wands here. And the Queen of Wands says, she's the one who is, she's the feminine aspect of herself. We have a feminine and a masculine aspect. It has nothing to do with gender. But she's the feminine side. She's the one that's very in touch with her intuition, very in touch with her creativity, very in touch with, authenticity, knowing where she's taking her life. And if you look at her in the upright position, she's ready to go at any particular time. Very grounded. But she's in reverse here. So that tells me whenever my queens are in reverse, that tells me that there's some anger or some hopelessness that's sitting behind this, because you're ready. You're ready to take your life in a new direction here. You're so ready that this Knight of Swords, look at this. I mean, he's probably one of the fastest knight in the decks, where he's ready to, he's my freedom fighters. He wants freedom. This is a teenage part of ourself. He wants to get out there and find freedom. He wants to find out who he is. he wants to take those wands and go. There's something that you want to do, but it's in reverse as well. You have the jack, the knight, the knight and the queen here, and the 10, jack, queen. Two of them are 2 wands and 1 sword. 2 of them want to go to find out who you are. There's such a drive here. There's such a force that wants to get out there. That's what you're sitting in. So that's a heck of a lot of emotions that are going on right now with you, where you're trying to contain all of them because they're just bursting to all come out here. And what's in your shadow that's sort of impacting this right now, the situation that you're sitting in? And so what we have here is the Empress, and she's a beautiful card to come out. She's, I love this card, this depiction of the Empress. The Empress is the 3rd card in the Major Arcana. And in the Major Arcana, the feminine aspect is divided into 2. You have number 2 is the High Priestess, and she represents our intuition. And number 3, the Empress, it represents everything, creative. So in your shadow right now, there is something that wants to definitely be birthed. Something that definitely you want to bring to this world, that wants to come to this world. There's something that wants to come out here. And she's in reverse. And so again, there's another feminine side, feminine aspect here that is being repressed in you for some reason. And so there is, I'm wondering if that's where, because this is our shadow. So this is what's coming in your unconscious. So I'm wondering if this is going to, tell us something about, maybe in the past you have been told that there's something that you wanted to do and you couldn't. And now it's just sitting here waiting to be birthed. And here's the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is you're ready to go. It's ready to come out. And the Knight of Pentacles is another knight in the deck. And the Knight of Pentacles is a slower knight. But again, it's a freedom. You're wanting some freedom here. There's freedom. There's a freedom part here that wants to bring this out, and it's a slower process here. And the Pentacle has something to do with, where can getting freedom that has to do with your self-worth, maybe and maybe this is what this is about. Maybe this is about, there's something here that has to do with your self-worth that is blocking what wants to come out. And it seems to be related to, a adolescent part of you maybe that is blocked. And so, yeah, that's what I'm seeing in your shadow right now. It's around maybe your self-worth, that there's something that needs to come out here in order to bring out what it is you want to bring out to this world. And so the advice from the tarot says, another night. That is your 3rd night in this reading. And so to me, the Knight of Swords is that adolescent freedom fighter that wants to find out who they are. And so because you have 3 knights in this deck, I can see that there's a really big call in you that is just urging to bring something out into this world. And the advice from the tarot is this King of Pentacles here. The King is the masculine part of us. The King is often driven by our ego. And the ego here is saying, this whole stuff about grounding, this whole stuff about our, doing what we want to do, putting ourselves first is just a bunch of crap, and so that's part of your block right here. And so there's a real call here, because the Seven of Pentacles is, you're looking at your situation right now and you're saying, is this everything? Is this what life is all about? Is this it? And the advice from the tarot was saying, you know what, this Chariot card right here, this Chariot card's coming in right here as a second card to the end. So the Chariot card's all about, your willpower, your ego can take you as far to a certain point. And then it gets to a certain point where these sphinxes right here, they're not moving, right? This whole Chariot's not moving. And the Chariot is driven by our will, our ego. And so the advice from the Tarot was saying right now, your will is not working anymore. Like, I think up to this point, you have brought yourself to a certain point, which sounds like, you've kind of kept this all kind of under control, kind of trying to keep it all down, because there's a lot of reversals here. But there's now, I can feel it just, there's this part of you, like, because you have the 3 Knights that are just wanting to just burst out and do what it is you want to do. But this will of yours isn't going to work anymore. Your ego won't work anymore. What has to happen is now that you have to go inwards and you have to get in touch with the High Priestess. So which is beautiful about this reading is that you got the Empress and now you have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess says it's time that you get in touch with your own inner guidance, your own intuition, right? So it's about the King of Pentacles is all about grounding too. And it's all about, getting grounded and getting back into your body and start to feel and listen to your inner guidance and start to hear with, okay, how am I going to do this next step? How am I going to get this? You have these 10 of Wands that you're wanting to let go. And how am I going to do this? And it's time to get in touch with, your inner child here. Your Page of Swords was the overriding energy. It's time to get in touch. It's time to go inwards. It's time to get back in your body. It's time to get back in touch with your inner self and your inner guidance and your intuition. And that's what's going to guide you, because this Chariot has stopped. He's your ego. He's stopped. He's not going to go anywhere anymore. So, wow, what a reading. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with a video on emotional journaling at the end, and that's going to help you with a lot of these emotions that are coming up for you right now. These, especially to get some of this freedom fighter energy out, where wanting so much freedom to do this, but yet there's some things that need to still happen before you can do what you want to do, because there's a few blocks here I'm seeing. So let me pull an oracle card for you. And you got the Cow Spirit. And it is number 15. The miracles are endless. You are a beautiful point. Sorry, let me start again. You're at a beautiful point in your life today. For your needs are being met effortlessly and in so many ways. Fully embrace this truth by focusing on all you have right now, including the positive relationships that sustain you, the work you are proud to do to contribute to the world, and the activities that inspire you and nourish your soul. Cow Spirit nudges you to pay attention, because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you need to feed your soul and bring your heart contentment. Now is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. Stay positive and share your well-being with others. The more you share, the more you will manifest, so be generous. Cow Spirit promises you will never run out of miracles. I love the line and says, the Cow Spirit nudges you to pay attention because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you know will feed your soul and bring your heart to contentment. And wasn't this what this reading was about? Was focusing on, you and what's going to bring you joy. And this whole reading was speaking of that, and that's what's really wanting to come out here, What's going to bring you joy? It's time to focus on you. And I'll leave that emotional journaling at the end, and that's going to really help you. Take care, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you mid-month. Bye-bye.